My fiancée asked for a break to test drive her cheating ex, expecting me to wait around. So, I smiled, told her to take her time, and made sure she came back to absolutely nothing. She actually thought I was going to be her backup plan. Instead, she got the hardest reality check of her life. Tessa and I were together for 4 years and engaged. I thought we were rock solid, but during wedding planning, she completely checked out, brushing me off whenever I asked about details. Then came game night with friends. Someone asked which past relationship we'd relive if we could, and Tessa didn't even blink. "Oh, probably Dylan," she said, naming the college ex who literally cheated on her. The room went dead silent. Her behavior shifted drastically after that. She was always texting and making vague excuses to leave the house. Then, one Friday, I came home early to find her staring blankly at her laptop. "I've been thinking about us and about Dylan," she muttered. My stomach dropped as she looked me dead in the eye and dropped the bomb. "I want to take a break to see if there's still something there with him." I couldn't process the audacity of my fiancée wanting to pause our wedding to date another guy. She actually tried to smooth it over, promising to come back if things didn't work out. I just stared at her. "You know this sounds insane, right?" I asked. She sighed, annoyed. "This is about me figuring out what I need." She expected me to beg her to stay, but I didn't. I looked at her, kept my voice flat, and said, "Sure, take your break." She was caught off guard by how easily I agreed. She grabbed a bag, muttered she'd stay at her mom's, and walked out. She thought she bought time to play house with Dylan while I kept her seat warm. She had no idea I was already done. The second her car pulled away, I went to work. I opened my laptop and canceled the venue, photographer, and caterer. I wanted her gone. Then I looked around the house. Tessa loved acting like it was ours, but my name was on the deed, and my money paid the mortgage. I called a realtor and listed the house for sale the next day. Finally, I boxed up every single thing she owned and dumped it on her mom's porch. No text, no warning. A week later, my phone buzzed. It was Tessa. Dylan obviously wasn't the fantasy she remembered. "Can we talk?" she texted. I smirked. "Sure, come by tomorrow," I replied. The next day, she walked through the front door and stopped dead in her tracks. Her eyes darted around the room, taking in the bare shelves and moving boxes stacked against the walls. "What's going on here?" she asked, her voice shaking. I leaned against the counter, totally relaxed. "I'm selling the house," I told her. Her jaw dropped and she gasped. "You're selling our house?" I didn't flinch. "It's my house, Tessa," I said, "and I don't need this much space anymore." She went pale and stammered. "Wait, you're just moving on?" I laughed right in her face and asked what else I was supposed to do. She stepped closer, tears welling up in her eyes. I panicked. "Dylan hasn't changed. It's always been you." I crossed my arms and looked her up and down. "You chose doubt. You chose Dylan. Now I'm choosing me." She tried to grab my arm and started sobbing uncontrollably, begging me to reconsider because we could still get married. I yanked my arm away and told her it was simply too late. I stared at her until she realized I meant it. She turned around, shaking, and walked out the door for the last time. She couldn't take the rejection and started a massive smear campaign, even bringing my name up at her workplace. She spun a wild story to our families where I was the villain who suddenly abandoned her. I wasn't having it. I sent one final group text stating the cold, hard facts. She left me to date her ex, so I ended the engagement. After that, I blocked her on everything and completely erased her from my existence. She threw away a solid future to chase a toxic loser. The best revenge is moving on and leaving them in the dust.